In my last video, we talked about food noise and how it's actually a type of hunger, normally mind hunger, but we have got different types of hunger. There's actually 7 types of hunger that I'm going to go into today and help you to understand hunger more and what food noise is. The first hunger I'm going to talk about is physical hunger. So physical hunger is the hunger where your stomach is growling, and it's what it's actually doing is trying to like contract and push food into the intestines. The last little bits of food, it's trying to push them into the intestines. That's when you hear that growling noise. It's because the stomach's empty, and you normally have a feeling of hunger. But as I said, there's different types of hunger, and it feels different for different parts of the body. So really, when we're talking about physical hunger, that's when we should be eating, when we're having physical hunger. The other one that we need to be making sure we eat with is cellular hunger. And that's kind of when you've gone past the hunger stage and your body's actually screaming out for food. So you get the shakes and your blood sugar's dropped really low. So that's cellular hunger. We talked about mind hunger in the last video, and that was about food noise and how the mind likes to find the easiest route, the most comfortable route, and it's trying to solve a problem. And so a lot of the time our mind tells us through habit and through thought habits that it's hungry, you're hungry, you've got to eat. So it will come up with lots of different excuses. So when we're talking about mind hunger, it's normally a thought process, and that thought process sometimes comes from emotions. So a lot of the time you could be feeling like, say, boredom, and the mind will say it's time to eat. Or it could be an actual like emotional feeling of feeling lonely, and you want to feel soothed, so the mind will come up with the solution: eat, you'll feel soothed. So it's starting to recognize when those thoughts are coming in, rather than just going for the food, and also just learning about the patterns in your mind and your thoughts. So there's hundreds of excuses that the mind will come up with, and it will always find a way. It likes to make those excuses and find the easy route, the most comfortable route. So that's the one that we talk a lot about with food noise, because it's like, shut up. I know there's chocolate in the fridge, in the cupboard, and there's lovely food in the fridge. But you have to sort of like recognize that, am I really physically hungry, or what else is it I really need? We'll go into that in later videos about what you really need. But today we're talking about the different types of hunger. So the next type of hunger is eye hunger. So eye hunger is when you see something and it just looks so delicious, and automatically your taste buds start firing up, and it's like, yes, I want to eat that. And sometimes it might just be like an advert on the telly, or watching Bake Off or some kind of cooking program, and it's just like, oh, I just want to go and make myself a nice cake. Or it reminds you of what's in the cupboards that you can go down and get. I say go down because my kitchen's downstairs and my lounge is upstairs. Weird. Anyway, so that's the eye hunger. Nose hunger is a smell. So you know when you smell like bread or bacon sandwich or something like that, it just makes you want it. So the smell of fish and chips or whatever it is that food you like, if you smell it, it makes you want it, even if you've probably eaten an hour ago and you're not physically hungry. So it's just all the senses in the nose and mind that are linked. We like this food, it's time to eat. So we're built for survival, really, and the way we survive is to eat. So it's no doubt we've got all of these different systems in place to make us eat, but we've just got to learn to be aware of them and recognize that actually it does smell nice, but I don't want to eat that. I don't need to eat it. Another hunger is called mouth hunger. So that's really to do with your taste buds. We've got loads and loads of taste buds. So they actually decrease as we get older, and change as we get older. But if something tastes nice, it makes us want more of it. It's sending a message to the brain to say, this is good, we like this. Dopamine's released, and it's basically getting you to eat more of it. And that just goes back to, survival again. we needed to know where the honey was. We needed to know where the high calorie foods were. So we were designed to really like the taste of it and remember where things were. So we know where they are. They're in the cupboard or in the fridge or at the shop. But we just need to recognise again, be aware that it tastes nice, but I'm just going to enjoy this taste just for this little bit of time. I don't need to eat the whole packet biscuit. And the last hunger, we've kind of already touched on it. It's emotional hunger. So some people get certain emotions mixed up with hunger. I have in the past, and still do sometimes, where I feel a bit of anxiety. It's kind of in the same area in your stomach area where you get your emotions. So it's no doubt that some people get confused, and it becomes a habit. So if I was to get anxiety, say like when I was leaving the house, when I was going through a bit of a bad time, every time I left the house or just before I left the house, I felt hungry. But it wasn't hunger, it was anxiety. And I would like go and get something to eat, and that would get me out of the door because it kicked in the soothing system. I'm going to talk about the soothing system and how it helps us to feel relaxed, and how food helps us to feel relaxed in a later video. But yeah, the soothing system just helped me to just get out of the door. And it's and sometimes now I'll get a bit of anxiety and think, oh, I'm hungry, and then it's like, no, I'm not hungry, I'm going back to the old patterns again. So yeah, a lot of our emotions are felt in the same area where we feel hunger. So we have to build up an awareness. Is this hunger? Is this physical hunger? Or is this an emotion I'm feeling? And if you think about what thoughts you were having before you had that emotion, so before you had that hunger, if you think about what was you thinking about, and just build up that awareness, it's like, oh, that's what triggered me. I was thinking about something that I didn't really want to do, or a person, or something that just upsets you, and then all of a sudden you're hungry. So it's just looking at emotional hunger as a type of hunger. It's not physical hunger. So I've gone through all of the 7 hungers there, so I'm just going to run through a list of them again. So we have, get my notes out, eye hunger, nose hunger, mouth hunger, cellular hunger, mind hunger, emotional hunger, and actual physical hunger, which we sometimes call stomach hunger. Hopefully that's helped you understand a bit more about food noise, and that it doesn't just come from the mind, it doesn't just come from physical hunger, and it's a mixture of it all, really. So I hope that helps you. Please subscribe or like the video. It all helps me to get more subscribers and get monetized, which would be wonderful. But I'm going to be putting a lot more videos on about comfort eating and emotional eating, and the book that I'm writing is called Transform Your Relationship with Food. So it's a guide for comfort eaters. So if you feel like you want some free information, please just like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.